can be 2 behind here. Okay, since I do have this going, and let me explain exactly what I've done. Actually, you know what, I'll explain it to you. I remove stuff because I don't want it in my way. I move things, I move my stop, I move my target. I'll explain it to you as soon as I am done trading for the day. So I'm probably going to continue from right here, but I'm good with taking my exit once it hit that support area that held up. I want to remove this so it does not affect my judgment. I will put a line right there. A big block is too big for me. If you're looking for another short, this is the next place, but I'm not willing to take it right now. Got strong MACDs up. You got a lot of distance to the zero line. You do have potential for divergence, but a very weak retracement so far. So it would be somewhere right in here. If this pushes up from here with how far this bar pushed down, and that's all the MACD reaction that happened, then I'm going to definitely be patient on any other shorts. But for now, I'm just going to let it kind of run and watch what it does. I'm not looking to take anything at the moment. And that's why you wait. You don't take that because you think that's what it's saying. I don't really need this here since I have that blue line. Any changes to a downtrend after such a long time of an uptrend? It's going to be a struggle. So it pushes back past here. I'll look for it to pull back to it and continue. So here's something I want to kind of discuss just a little bit. There's major divergence or major potential for divergence because, you know, it hasn't passed here, it hasn't turned away from here yet. There is a lot of strength in the 1597 to the downside. The 610 had made that guppy belly where it just pulled away and it needs to come back. They almost want to stay in a nice, when you see a nice sharp angle together like this is what you want to see. You don't want to see that guppy belly like this because it's going to make some indecision, okay? So you want to see them together. Here, I may have to turn off my phone a little bit. Oh, and if you had taken this short, which, you know, I did not, but then somewhere once you had the little potential for divergence right here, everything started popping up, maybe in here, maybe not even get it until somewhere like here. But it could still go from here. 1597 still has a lot of strength in that direction, but you got an area of support that's holding. You got your MACDs up on your 610 down here. Just patience. I mean, there's no reason in getting in something that, you know, isn't ready. Like, you know, I saw potentials here. I saw potential here, but I wanted to wait because it wasn't ready. Yes, we are above everything on the 610, but the 1597 I'm not. And I did remove some drawing tools and things like that because they really, when I draw them on there, they affect my decisions. So I have to make them much thinner, not big circles, because then I'll go, oh, well, I drew this big circle. It must be holding because of that. All right. The heck, can I go down from here? If you wanted to try and be the hero, that's when you would try and go in again right in here. But look at your MACDs. Every time it's pushed down, it's leading a little bit higher. They're just kind of hanging out here. They haven't done much. So yeah, it could push down here with force. The EMAs are looking how you want them to look. To push down, they're spread open. They're not this guppy belly look. So if you wanted to be the one that tried to break through, then here's where you go. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I guess I'll just stop listening to my iHeartRadio at this point and turn everything down. See what happens when you try to be the hero? Yeah. It's not that it's not an opportunity. If you like to get in and get out like Marina does, sure, that's perfect for you. But it's not my style. So it's not what I teach. But hey, we all work a little bit different. Ooh, this has got a nice W effect. Yeah. I think this is going to try and turn around here, but I'm not going to be the one to make it happen, so I'm just going to watch. And I'm going to remove this line. That way I don't try and make decisions based off of it. So if you're looking for, if you like that magic zone trade, this would be where you'd be looking for to happen. Well, it's already past all that, actually. Huge W pattern on that 1597. Oh, and Obviously, the potential for divergence is no longer the potential. That is major divergence on your higher time frame. Some seriously major divergence. Seriously major. That's a technical term. Seriously major divergence. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to go to the upside, but I am just feeling patient. Did make that little bit of a guppy belly. It's starting to make that guppy belly look here. It made it in the 233, which you see happen often. That guppy belly look. When everything is pretty strong in that same direction, that's when that's when it's really safe to continue taking those pullbacks into. And this is what I was having a discussion with somebody about. What was happening yesterday. I turned my volume down. They lied to me. There we go. All right, if it goes from here, that's great. Actually, probably it looks like it is. It's really trying to push here hard. Look at all these bars that have just sat here, and look at each MACD BB pushing up hard. Same here. This pulls back into this area. This is the only reaction you had in the MACD so far. So it's really attempting to push to the upside now. What was that for? I didn't even catch how many points that was or anything. Oh. 2.5 points. So 2 contracts, that's 5 points. Pretty much done for the day. It's still a lower high than this last little bit right here. But even though it's a lower high, we see the potential for it to really push up higher. I'm just going to wait because I don't see any really good reason to take a trade without just jumping in at this point. Pull back into the 233 EMA. You still got a lot of distance in those, in the blue, and I say in the blue and the purple. The blue is my 610, the purple is my 1597. So to me, it's a little bit of indecision. Yes, everything's starting to push to the upside, but it hasn't really made that shift for me completely yet to make me feel comfortable trading in the opposite direction. Do you like the way I want to see what this bar does? Because this bar is pulled back really far. It's got to close in the middle. Your MACDs are still technically leading higher. But if this one starts to push down, and the MACDs start to curl, I mean, it's just that's a quick look when I'm looking for a very quick entry. That way it just gives a false sense of a pull down with the way that the bar closes. So it's a false sense of a strong move. And the bar shows that too. So while it's technically to the upside because you're above the zero line and everything and all that jazz, you still got a lot of distance in these EMAs. And guys, that is a big deal, okay? So this may have just been pushing back to go down further. I don't know. Because I can't predict the future. I'm just here to watch it. Be present in the moment, guys. Being present in the moment. Some pretty deep pullbacks on 1597. And I bet you I'm trying to be better about this just so I don't get myself caught up in stuff like I did before. There's news probably coming out right about now. ForexFactory.com. Because it's 9 o'clock. That's just the typical 9 o'clock junk. Central time. Okay. Yeah, there's existing home sales. It's not a huge mover. We have FOMC meeting minutes at 1 o'clock today. That is a big mover. That's at 1 Central Time. So I'm probably going to be done here in just a moment because that is craziness. It slows down. It doesn't do a lot. And then all of a sudden it just takes off with bars that you can't even handle, or I can't handle. Some people probably could, I'm sure. But made that W pattern. It failed. Maybe it's going to be the M to the downside. I don't know. It's not my job to predict the future. Yeah. I'm just going to pull this over real quick while this is making its mind up. If you look here, so we have existing home sales. When a speaker talks, it doesn't do a whole lot. But when you see these red ones, that's what you really want to, red USD, you want to be really not concerned, but you want to pay attention to that. And so today is FOMC minutes, high impact expected. So that means you are not going to want to be in the market when that happens. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? So I'm going to give this probably 5-10 more minutes at the most, and call it a day. Sure is making an attempt to push down. Made an attempt to push up. It's making an attempt to push down, but the MACDs are just kind of, they're disagreeing between the two charts, really. This is showing a lot of strength down. This had shown a strong move up, and now it's hanging out. This is above the zero line, so this says up, even though you had strong down. This is above the zero line, so it does say up. Below all things, it's a disagreement. So when I have a disagreement like this in particular, I don't know how to focus on it and which one to trust. With this type of disagreement here, this was a little bit different. I'll explain that to y'all in just a minute once this is over with. My intuition says down with the strength of the with the strength of the EMAs, with the strong MACDs down, with the weak movement up, pulling back into the area. My intuition says down, but we'd be trading right back into a divergence. you know, which if it breaks through that, that tells us that we have a strong trending market. But otherwise, you know, I don't want to be the one that tries to move the market, because that's not my job. My job is to watch what it does and pick up the crumbs along the way, right? And if I was going to take a short, it would have been right in here. And I don't know if it's just because, you know, my human nature is coming in. We've had so much strength to the upside that it's hard for me to trust the idea of now having a strong trending market to the downside. I can almost guarantee you that's what it is. You know, just because I understand the market and I'm good at trading it doesn't mean that I don't have to question what I see and whether or not I trust it or not sometimes. And it may be the right intuition, but I just waiting, and I want something with a higher probability that makes me more comfortable. And there you go. That's why I would not be taking the short trades right now, because it looks like it's going to try and go ahead and give that roll back up. If it does, let's see, you would have a stop out if you decided to take one here, and which is why I didn't do it. 23.75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about right here. It's about where I'd be stopped out had I chosen to take that short trade. Now, you see that everything's back to the upside here, so it's definitely not the short trade, but I'm reading what I'm seeing with the strength of everything down. And that's why I said I would not have taken this either. It's just something I was watching. You'll see sometimes I'll take things like that. I'll put the arrows on it because it's not something that I would take, but it's something that I see as a probability. There's the 9 o'clock hour, which is when the existing home sales is coming out. Welcome to my grandfather clock. There we go. Pulled back in, bounced off of there. I like that. All right. Looks like it's finally actually really picking a direction. It did that pull back into the area. My mind was set on what, should we be taking shorts, because I had seen this move to the downside, which told me I didn't need to trade right now because I knew things were, you heard me describe it. Everything was yes to the upside, but my mind was, are we still going down because we've made a lower high? So I decided that it was just better that I wait, because everything was not in agreement in the right direction, in my opinion, just yet. And one of the things, and I just want to explain this, and then we'll see if there's one more trade for me, and then call it a day. One of the things about this is that everybody sees a little bit of something different. This is what I explained to a trader the other day, because if we didn't, the market would literally go in one straight line one way or another, and there'd be no opportunity for entries for you. There'd be no opportunities for exits. So if you don't take the same trades that I do, hell, you may have taken a short trade from here. I can guarantee you people took short trades from here down, and now they're from here up. So everybody sees a little bit something different. Someone got in short here and went down, or the market wouldn't have moved that way. So there are these opportunities that people see. I have had people tell me that I get in too late sometimes, especially because of things like this. I like to wait for a little extra confirmation when it gets down below everything. But, it just wasn't the right thing to do just yet. It wasn't the right kind of setup just yet. Those bars just look so big when it's like that to me. So possibly looking for a long trade here. I'm going to wait just a moment. Actually, I think I do need to call it a day in just a minute. I still have a little of that guppy belly look here too. I think I mentioned that. Here's your pull back into your 233 EMA. That had you been sitting just above it, you would have been in. It's a lot of strength down in those MACDs for me to want to get in right now. Still well above that zero line. Oh, that gave a beautiful pullback on the 1597. Not liking the strength of these MACDs. I may go ahead and take this one out really quick before it goes any further. Yep. Those MACDs were strong down. They started to give a little bit of slowdown, but then once they gave that strength, I had to go ahead and get out of there. All right, and there's where the 610 EMA did not cross the 1597. I was entering with the potential for it to. Didn't, so I went ahead and took my exits just a tick earlier than I normally would. There's a lot of strength down. Okay, so right now we've got a flat EMA. I'm going to look to catch one more trade and then I'm out of here. Everything is so flat and pinching together. This has made a head and shoulders. It's well above that zero line on the 1597. It's rolling off of it on the 233. Or, oh, come on, take me in. Behind there, once that takes off. It's just a little early on my entry for the previous one. Gave me a strong pushback, so waited for it to pinch together just a little bit more. I need this to push up. I'm just waiting for it to push up. Then I'll move 2 ticks behind this bar right here. Okay, showing a little more potential to push up. I don't like the little bit of guppy belly going on here, but everything's pinching together with that strong push up. The 233 is going to give us that bit of a guppy belly. Okay, 2 ticks behind. Gonna watch it as it reaches this area. MACDs are leading a lot lower, but they are starting to push up in the 1597 with some pretty good strength. So it pushes past this area. I'm going to move it to a break even. I want to see it push. These MACDs are not in favor of it at this moment. You got a lot of strength in those. You had a lot of strength each way, right? And so there are a lot of strength. There's a good potential for this to continue to the upside. It's really trying to hold up here. It hasn't closed past this area, so I'm a little early in moving my stop up. I want to really see it close past there. Definitely getting the potential for it. All these BBs, while all these price bars are sitting at the same place, pushing up, these are starting to push up. There we go. I'll be aware. If this doesn't close up past here, then I'm going to get out of the trade. Yeah. It flipped it right there and take me out. There we go. And the reason I did that is because there's a look that bothers me, and I'm really, my focus is not completely there. When this closes at the high, I'm not a big fan of that. It has a potential to keep going, but I had 3 trades today. I had 2 winners, 1 loss, and I ended up still at 5 points. So this is probably going to continue to where it would have hit my target, but I've been trading for 41 minutes. My focus is gone. And so I think I'm good. I'm good with today. I feel good about today. I'm going to let this go. I want to see if it would have hit. Yep, it's pretty much going to where my target was, which is a point from here, which would have been right at this point. Let's just watch it for a minute. Let's see if it hits it. I am also working on not understanding Marina style, because I totally understand it, but having the tolerance for it and getting out with that point instead of always holding on for a longer target. But it looks like it's definitely gonna hit my spot. And while it's doing that, I want to go back and talk about why I entered this trade where I did. We can watch it over on this side. I said that there was a guppy belly with strong MACDs up on the 1597. Be patient. I said don't take shorts, and then I typed in just yet. What I meant by guppy belly is this is the guppy belly between, you know, the strength of these pulling away and, you know, they're not really in line. So I talked about it just a while ago about how we wanted to see everything just lining up really strong. Like here's a guppy belly, and that's what I was talking about with this. Here's where the guppy belly is starting to be created. You can see it kind of pulling away there. But here is a strong trending market, which gave you 9 gazillion gabillion opportunities to enter the trade. So let's see. Let's go back over here. So took the short. The reason I took this short is it had the guppy belly. I didn't want to trade here because of that. I didn't feel comfortable. Yes, it was getting back above everything. I didn't feel comfortable once it hit here, even though it was back above everything. Once it gave me this divergence on the 610 at the 1597 area with just a little breach of the area on the on this 1597. That's when I realized I was running a little late to enter my opportunity. I really wanted to get in a little bit back here, but it was starting to curl, so I got in. I moved my stop down to a break even pretty quickly, I believe, on this one. Once it started to push through here, it pulls back. Stop can go a couple ticks behind there. And I moved my target down to this area. And look, there that puppy goes. Hey, and it's going to go without me. I'm cool with that. I talked about the potential for an entry here. Have a little bit of hard time trusting the shorts. We've had a strong trending market. We had strong potential for the divergence on the 1597. I talked about possible short here, and that was just something that I wouldn't recommend. It was something that had I wanted to enter something like that, I would wait for it to push down here, but definitely had that guppy belly still going on here. And you were having that potential for the higher low coming off of divergence. And it pushed through everything. So now it was time to wait for the long term. I got in too early here. I knew it was. I talked myself into it. I saw this guppy belly and I said, well, we got a little bit of slowdown in the MACDs here. We got a little bit of slowdown here. So I just went ahead and got in it. I moved. My stop would have been hit right here. I did try and get out a little bit earlier, but it pushed forward and gave me a point. So that's 2 points since it's two contracts. Then once it pulled down, equaled that area, rolled right off the 0 line, rolled right off here. It was that opportunity again, this long bar with the close at the top time to get in, especially with all this strength in the MACDs. Yes, I could have held for the longer profit target. I've been watching something with these bars when I've reached an area of support or resistance, when they close at that area, just like this one here. I may not have the whole thing proper in my mind, but I know it's a pattern that I'm looking at. And so that is why I chose to take that exit. This strong push up in the MACDs tells me I could have held on for longer, but once your concentration is gone, then it's gone. So don't try and force things at that point. So my first trade was plus 2.5. 5 times 2, so plus 0.0. Second trade, minus 1.0 times 2, oops, equals minus 2.0, which obviously, I mean, and then my last one, plus 1.0 times 2 equals plus 2. So put this up here, 3 trades, 2 wins, 1 loss, two contracts. Total profit today plus 5.0. And so that is actually one. Equals, that's what, 250? And in reality, I made that 250 in about 10 minutes. Let's see, that first trade started at 8:36 or so, and it went to 8:38, so not even 10 minutes. Okay, guys, if you have any questions over this, definitely let me know. I know it's a little long. If you want to skip through some of it, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Hopefully you understand everything. But if you don't, let me know if you have any questions.